Alright guys, welcome back to the series that no one wants to see, that's not Twitterverses, where I play a video game and talk about random drama with someone else. Today I'm with King of Nothing, up-and-coming YouTuber.
Yo, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Yeah, had to replace Willie Mac Show.
Yeah, dude, I have beef with Willie Mac Show now. He didn't answer my Discord message once, and yeah, we have beef now.
Yeah, fuck Willie Mac Show. He didn't meet up with us at VidCon. All of us met up in LA. Not for VidCon, but around the time of VidCon. And Willie didn't show up! So now I hate him, and now we have a new person here. And he's basically Willie. I mean, if you look at his channel and his videos, it's like Willie Mac Show videos, but different topics, and actually funnier and better. So, yeah.
So just superior in every way? Is that it?
Yeah, dude. Compare an iDubbbz video by King of Nothing versus Willie Mac Show. Pretty up there in quality, but I'd say King of Nothing's 8 out of 10. Willie is like 7.5, you know?
I give him like a 5.
Damn, dude. Have you seen Willie's content?
No, I'm just kidding. I love Willie. I mean, he's probably the closest thing to me on all of YouTube, which is pretty cool.
Which is why you're perfect for the series. You're my Willie Mac Show replacement, dude.
Damn, fuck. That's why you asked me to do this? That's actually crazy.
Have you played Sunshine before?
I did when I was a kid, and when, so, if you guys didn't know, Bo Blacks and I actually met in person at VidCon, and
yeah.
One of the days they were out, and I played on a Switch the whole day, and I tried playing Switch, Sunshine, because I played it when I was a kid, and bro, that shit was ass, I'm not gonna lie. It was like actually horrible.
Yeah, this game, it's super nostalgic for me, but honestly, it's probably aged the worst out of any Mario game. It's like...
Played it for like 5 minutes.
What games do you play? You just play like Fortnite and shit?
I play Fortnite, and that's basically it. I play some NBA 2K.
Oh, you're one of those people. You can't wait for the new NBA to come out every year, and you can't wait for the new Fortnite season, and that's all you care about.
I want to talk about this Adam22 guy, bro. This guy has some serious problems.
For some reason, he like mauled over with his wife for a year whether she would be allowed to fuck other dudes because she's a porn star, and he fucks other women, and they're like very like porn, sex positive, all that shit, like open everything with their relationship and all that. But for some reason, he mauled over her fucking another guy for a job for a year, and then all of a sudden, he was just like, fuck it, she can do it, and started making like a big deal out of it, and started calling himself a cuck and shit.
Yeah.
Very strange.
I don't know exactly what changed in his life to have thought that this was a good decision. I'm genuinely curious, like, what happened, because it is pretty similar to the iDubbbz thing, where they get married and then the female in the relationship starts, you know, although Lena was already a porn star before, you know, the marriage and the release of the OnlyFans or porn is like kind of intertwined, like they're happening around the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, Augie RFC, another YouTuber, had a theory about this, and I agree with it. I kind of had this theory as well, where Adam22, there was like kind of pedophile-esque allegations. I'm not sure about the intricate details of it.
They're real, man.
But
That guy's a pedo. I'm sorry.
Oh shit, okay. So, confirmed by King of Nothing, Adam22 officially a pedo. He basically left the internet for 3 months and then came back and was like, oh guys, I'm a cuck now. There's this big thing happening where my wife is... Well, I was about to say my mom. Jeez, I'm thinking of Chris Chan, I guess. My wife is about to get like BBC'd for the first time. They had like an interview about her getting BBC'd on his channel or whatever, which I found was weird, but regardless, he talked about it and he was like, no kissing and no facial. Why would you be okay with her getting slammed BBC style, but still be like not okay with kissing and facial? I think he doesn't want to do this, but he's only doing this so he can be seen as like a big cuck to everyone online, and everybody forgets the pedo shit, because he's really like leaning into the cuck shit. He's responding to Elon Musk, what's wrong with being a cuck? He's like posting about it all the time, like he's trying to get his name talked about in association with this cuck shit instead of the pedo shit. So I think that's why he's doing it, and I think if he was never called out for being a pedo, he would have never let his wife do this. That's my theory.
I could see where you're coming from, but I guess the problem with what you're saying is that's assuming people actually remember. You know, I cover scammers every day on my channel where, you know, this person steals millions of dollars, and as long as the content quality stays the same, they're usually fine right after scamming people. Even EDP, he got exposed as a predator a year before the cupcake thing. I think people forget a lot of these types of things, and I think Adam knows that. So I don't think they would have done it for that reason.
Well, I think he's doing it to help them forget even more, because yeah, they forgot a lot more, like after the 3 months. It probably went down from like, let's say, 100% at its peak and now it's probably like down to 20%, but he could probably lower it from 20% to like 5% of people talking about it when the conversation is filled up with him being a cuck. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess, but it's also like he must know part of the threads calling him a cuck also call him out for being a pedo. Have you seen the evidence that shows he's a pedo?
He has like a blog talking about fucking a kid, right? Or
yeah.
Like, wasn't it that he like met a kid and then stopped talking with them and then they met again and got reintroduced when she was 19 and then he fucked her and like remembered that she was a kid and got off to that aspect of it or something like that?
There's a lot of speculation, but he wrote like he detailed the entire thing himself. It's kind of like a self-report. And it literally in the article, he writes like, if statutory rape was a crime, then I'm a criminal or something like that.
Jesus.
He details like every part of their relationship. It's like, oh, this girl Desiree, she's 16 and she's so hot. Like he literally writes stuff.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like
Jesus, man.
And look, it was 20 years ago. But being a pedo wasn't acceptable 20 years ago, you know?
Yeah. Maybe it was acceptable like 20,000 years ago.
He went from the US to Canada to get with a 16-year-old.
Wait, but she was 16 when he fucked her, or did he fuck her when she was overage? Because I thought it was like grooming allegations. I didn't think it was like he actually fucked someone underage.
I don't know if it's one or the other, but given the phrasing and the wording that's used in the article, I don't really think it matters either way. Like, I think it's so bad what he wrote. Like, I wouldn't want to be friends with someone who wrote that article.
Yeah, and how old was he when he was like kind of pining over like, oh, I wish I could fuck the 16-year-old, or I like that she was 16 and she's 19 now, or whatever it was.
He was either 23 or 21. Either one. I forget. So he was younger, I guess. Isn't it crazy? He looks younger. Like, he doesn't look that old.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, do you think he's actually like an active pedophile and wants to fuck kids now? Or do you just think he had a little bit of a kink and he did something wrong back then, but now he's like not a danger?
I mean, the problem with a lot of these porn people, especially I would assume the people in the industry themselves, they get bored of like regular sex, so they become more extreme sexually, regardless of how they choose to express it.
Psychologically, that's the thing. That's like what enables porn addiction, right? Where it's like you look at something, you're like, oh, this is so hot, and you keep doing it, and you're like, well, it's not as hot anymore, let's do something even hotter, and then like you look up some weird shit like, I don't know, like stepsister or whatever, and then it just keeps going and going and going.
I would assume that same thing happens to the actual porn stars themselves.
Except probably more like extreme, and instead of watching it, they want to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially for someone like Adam, where this guy is like a quantity guy. Like, he's never been the best podcast guy. He's never been the best porn star, I would assume. He's purely quantity. He's just putting out the most podcasts, the most scenes. So it's probably worse for him than like the average person.
Yeah, so do you think maybe he wanted to have his wife get BBC'd because he was bored sexually rather than this whole like pedo cover-up theory I'm proposing?
I mean, I think he's a sick person. You and I both know for a fact he's making more than enough money with just a podcast.
Yeah, for sure. That's why, like, I'm thinking of this theory, and by the way, I don't think it like 100%, it's just a theory, but like, because the whole like, oh, we need to make more money thing, in his position, it just doesn't make sense.
It's impossible. Impossible.
Yeah, like he already has enough money, and there's ways to make more money in different ways, like record, like as you were saying, quantity over quality, just record more scenes with like threesomes or whatever, something that you're morally comfortable with. But he decided to take this big step for him. At least he's saying it's a big step. Maybe it's just a drum up publicity, I don't know, but
I'm having trouble with the theory just based on the fact that Adam is smart enough to know that if he gets people talking about him in any negative way, it would bring more eyes to the pedo stuff. Decided to get my boo something nice to celebrate her first BBC scene.
He got her like a whole ass card just because she did a BBC scene.
Yeah, exactly.
He's really trying to make a big deal out of it and drum up a lot of hype around it. Like, this disconnect is weird to me where he's like, oh, I was mulling over it for a year and I don't want kissing and I don't want facial or whatever. And then he's like promoting it like super, super heavily. It seems like a 180. Like, you would not think based on how he's tweeting about it that he was reluctant to do this for over a year.
I mean, the main issue here is who the fuck is buying this? It's on Twitter for free. Dude, the whole thing.
Well, I haven't checked. I haven't done the research.
If you just look
I thought
up...
it was still coming out because they were like hyping it up like 10 days until like I get my fucking vag blasted open or whatever.
When I looked up Adam22 to record this, it's literally the first thing that came up. The whole scene on Twitter.
So it's not even about money.
It is. He definitely actually made enough money off just this scene to buy that Lambo.
Probably, because like a lot of people were talking about it.
Yeah, so it worked.
Like
I mean, to a certain extent, all press is good press. But I think where that kind of falls apart is when there's pedophile accusations against you with undeniable evidence. I'm sure if I go to the replies on this cuck baiting post, I'm gonna find a reply that's just showing a link to the article he wrote. I feel like if he was doing it on purpose, he probably would have maybe tried to go for like some positive press or something. Maybe donate to charity.
Oh, to like distract from the pedo allegations. But the BBC thing is like such an all-encompassing discussion, right? Like if it was just like, oh, I'm donating to charity to distract from it, people would make the connection easier. That like, oh, you're only doing this because he got called out before, and like there's less to discuss. It's like he donated to charity, okay. But like with the whole BBC thing, there's like a product to buy. Like talking about the intricacies of it, like why is he doing this, and they could make a whole podcast discussing it. Like they couldn't make a 1-hour podcast discussing why they donated money to like kids with cancer, you know?
That's true.
So from this point onward, we talked about influencers doing charity work, which obviously got us off the topic of Adam22 and onto the topic of iDubbbz's recent charity boxing event, Creator Clash 2. So if you don't want to miss us talking about that in the next part, be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss when it's uploaded. But if you are impatient, there is a full unedited version of this podcast available for channel members right now. Don't forget to check out King of Nothing's channel, and with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.